And in 2015, we saw too many mass shootings, policing under scrutiny, and terror hit our homeland. Our Jean Casares has a look at some of the most unforgettable crime and justice stories of the year.
A biker shootout caught on video surveillance.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
9 people killed, 18 wounded May 17th at the Twin Peaks restaurant in Waco, Texas. 177 bikers were arrested. Police recovered 480 weapons. In this video finally released, an officer fired his weapon after police say the suspect was carrying a knife and acting erratically. An African-American teen, Laquan McDonald, was shot 16 times. The Chicago police chief, Gary McCarthy, fired after dashboard video of a suspect killed was kept under wraps for over a year.
Public trust in the leadership of the department has been shaken.
The officer, Jason Van Dyke, has been charged with first-degree murder, while many in the community continue to rally, calling for the mayor to resign. The scene heartbreaking and too familiar.
This is CNN Breaking News.
We are just getting word here of a school shooting.
A shooting on a school campus, this time at Umpqua Community College in Roseburg, Oregon. Gunman Christopher Harper Mercer shoots and kills 9 people. He dies after a gun battle with police at the college.
Somehow this has become routine. The reporting is routine. My response here at this podium ends up being routine. The conversation in the aftermath of it, we've become numb to this.
As Bill Cosby maintained his silence, more women came forward saying the television star had sexually assaulted them in the past.
He made me kneel down, and I'm not going to repeat what happened next. All I know is that it was the most horrifying thing that could happen to any young woman.
And Cosby turned the tables on some of his accusers in December, filing suit against them for defamation of his character. Mr. Cosby states plainly that he neither drugged nor sexually assaulted the defendants.
It is my very, very sad duty to report Allison and Adam died this morning shortly after 6:45 when the shots rang out.
WDBJ television journalists Allison Parker and Adam Ward shot to death by a disgruntled former colleague during a live broadcast for their morning news. Heinous acts recorded by the killer himself.
It's just horrifying. It's shocking. These were young people. Allison Parker was, 24 years old? Adam Ward was 27 years old. It's just unbelievably sad.
It's been gut-wrenching for me to try and get through anything without breaking down in tears.
The killer, Bryce Williams, shot himself as police closed in. The scene read like a movie. An escape tunnel chiseled away by inmates leading to a manhole on the street.
We have new developments for you about the manhunt for 2 convicts that has crippled part of upstate New York.
David Sweat and Richard Matt escaped from the Clinton Correctional Facility in Plattsburgh, New York.
Richard Matt not only didn't surrender, he picked up that shotgun, he aimed it at the agent, who then shot 3 times.
Matt was killed. David Sweat is back behind bars. They were on the run for more than 3 weeks. Prison worker Joyce Mitchell, who helped with their escape but got cold feet for the planned getaway, is now serving up to 7 years behind bars.
I did wrong. I deserve to be punished. But, people need to know that I was only trying to save my family.
In 2015, a jury sentenced bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev to death.
The convicted Boston bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev will meet his end by lethal injection for his crimes, actions that killed 4 people.
Even in the wake of horror and tragedy, we are not intimidated by acts of terror or radical ideals.
9 people died inside the historic Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church in South Carolina when Dylan Roof opened fire at a Bible study. Roof was arrested the following day. According to police, he confessed and told investigators he wanted to start a race war. Roof faced families of the victims who spoke directly to the killer from court.
You have killed some of the most beautifulest people that I know.
I've been through a lot of these hearings. This was the most emotional, the most powerful I have ever listened to.
The state is seeking the death penalty. An arrest caught on tape. Freddie Gray died in police custody, leading to riots in Baltimore that devastated the city.
And then as soon as the firefighters walked away or turned their backs, somebody walked up with a knife and cut holes, 2 holes, into that fire hose.
I want you to be really careful over there because it looks, Miguel, like the police are moving closer and closer.
Gray was placed in a police van and sometime during the journey suffered an injury that ended his life 1 week later. The officers involved charged for numerous crimes, including not calling medics and not buckling Gray inside the van. In the first of 6 trials, a hung jury. Law enforcement calls this the worst terrorist attack since 9/11.
Tonight, new answers in the act of terror here that took 14 lives. That is how it is now being investigated, an act of terror.
14 people shot dead by a co-worker and his wife.
This is now a federal terrorism investigation led by the FBI.
Syed Rizwan Farouk and Tashfeen Malik pledged their support to the terror group. This incident, law enforcement's worst fear, lone wolf terrorists.
And we'll be right back.
I'm the leading state sponsor of terrorism.